Hey, welcome back to that God Power. This is the channel where we're going to unlock the God Power laying dormant on the inside of you. But first, today we're going to continue breaking down the book of Genesis like we've been doing. Last time we went through chapter 25, and chapter 25 was a beefy chapter. A lot happened in chapter 25. So we saw the death of Abraham, and we saw that Abraham had other kids. We saw the story of Isaac. We saw the story of Isaac's kids. We heard about the Ishmael's descendants. We learned that Ishmael wasn't the main character. Isaac actually is. And now we're in the story of Jacob and Esau, and we heard about that and who they were. So let's go ahead and jump into chapter 26. Chapter 26 continues on with the family of Isaac. So there's some more stories that happen here, and we should explore them. So with no further ado, let's jump into chapter 26. So chapter 26, a severe famine now struck the land, as it had happened before in Abraham's time. So if you can remember it, when Abraham went to Egypt, that's when the famine happened, because he was trying to escape the famine. But this is the same kind of famine that happened in Isaac's time now. So Isaac moved to Gerar, where Abimelech was king still. This is Abimelech, the same Abimelech that we were talking about with Abraham. So the king of the Philistines, Abimelech, lives here in Gerar. The Lord appeared to Isaac and said, do not go down to Egypt, but do as I tell you. Live here as a foreigner in the land, and I will be with you, and I will bless you. I hereby confirm that I will give you all these lands to you and your descendants, just as I solemnly promised Abraham, your father. I will cause your descendants to become as numerous as the stars of the sky, and I will give them all these lands. And through your descendants, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. I will do this because Abraham listened to me and obeyed all my requirements, commandments, decrees, and instructions. Real quick, let's break some things down there. So God was like, hey, Isaac, look, you don't know what the business that I had with your pops was, but I got the same business with you because of your pops. Basically, that's what just happened there. Because of Abraham's obedience, because the way that Abraham carried himself and listened to the decrees of God, all the instructions of God, God has made a promise with Abraham. And now, even though Abraham has passed, he's keeping that promise true throughout his seed. So Isaac, he's letting him know what the covenant is. And like, yo, I got the same promise with you, Isaac. Okay. So Isaac, also one other thing I wanted to point out there. Another thing I wanted to point out there was, look, it said, through your descendants, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. I bet if we keep on following this bloodline down, it's going to get to Jesus somehow, some way, because I feel like that's what that sentence is talking about. All the nations are going to be blessed because of your descendants. So through the bloodline, somehow, some way, all the nations of the world will be blessed. And Jesus came through and blessed all the nations of the world. And because he was a man and fully God, he came through a human bloodline. So is this the bloodline? We shall see. Not no time soon, though. I mean, the only time we see Jesus is when they reference the Lord. When they reference the Lord is when we see Jesus. But we don't see Jesus in his fullness like we see him in the New Testament. Anyways, so Isaac stayed in Gerar. When the men who lived there asked Isaac about his wife, Rebekah, he said, she's my sister. He was afraid to say she's my wife. He thought they would kill him to get to her because she's so beautiful. So this is the same thing that Isaac's dad did, Abraham. When Abraham went to the foreign place, to the same people too. This is Abimelech's people. So Abraham did it to the same place. Now his son's in here doing the same thing. Talk about, she's my sister, bro. he's fearing that the guys are going to kill him. So he thought that they would kill him to get to her because she's so beautiful. So obviously Rebekah is a baddie. Anyways, but sometime later, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out his window and he saw Isaac caressing Rebekah. What the heck? Immediately, Abimelech called for Isaac and exclaimed, she's obviously your wife. Why did you say she's my sister? And then Isaac was like, because I was afraid someone would kill me to get to her or get her from me. And then Abimelech was like, how could you do this to us? One of my people might have easily have taken your wife and slept with her. Like easily, bro. Like quick with the fastness, dog. They didn't say all that. I added that part in, okay? And you would have made us guilty of a great sin, bruh. Then Abimelech issued a public proclamation. Anyone who touches this man or his wife will be put to death. When Isaac, okay, well, they're gonna move on past that, but let's just address that real quick. Um, yeah, why does Abraham's and his son now keep on lying to this man Abimelech? Abimelech is like, bro, I've seen this play before, bro. You're not about to get me with this. Your pops already almost tried to set me up with the same thing. You're not about to fly with that. But anyways, when Isaac planted his crops that year, he harvested 100 times more grain than he had planted, for the Lord had blessed him. He became a very rich man, and his wealth continued to grow. He acquired so many flocks of sheep and goat herds and cattle servants that the Philistines became jealous of him. So, first of all, Isaac was already wealthy, just off gates because Abraham gave him everything that he had. And now you're saying that he just got a huge come up and got even way more wealthy. So this family, Abraham, Isaac, these guys are wealthy, dude, beyond imagination. And they're not even like kings. King Abimelech is a king. These are just rich dudes, bro. That's pretty cool. So the Philistines got jealous. So they filled up all of Isaac's wells with dirt. These were the same wells that had been dug by the servants of his father Abraham. Finally, Abimelech ordered Isaac to leave the country. Go somewhere else, for you have become too powerful for us. Wow, that's kind of, I mean, dang, man, that's kind of messed up. But we're going to see in a moment how that plays out here because that was kind of messed up. Like Isaac's just doing his thing. He's rich, getting money. That's what you're supposed to do, right? And then because he's too rich, they kick him out the countryside. So Isaac moved away to the Gerar Valley or the Gerar Valley where he set up his tents and settled down. And when I say Isaac, just remember that I'm not referring to one man. When I say Isaac, this is talking about Isaac, Rebecca, probably his sons that are probably still living with him, and his servants, all the servants, and his whole clans, anybody who cleans his shoes and wipes his, I don't know, whatever. I don't know how rich bro is, but all the people that are moving with him move with him when I say he moved. So he moved there, set up their tents, and then he reopened the wells that his father had dug, which the Philistines had filled in after Abraham's death. So he reopened some of those wells so they could have some water to drink. Now remember, we're still in a famine. That's how this chapter started off. It said a severe famine now struck. So we're still in the midst of that. But Isaac, remember, he had that come up 100 times at the grain. So he's pretty straight. But they still got to find water. Isaac's servants also dug in the Gerar Valley and discovered a well of fresh water. But then shepherds from Gerar came and claimed the spring. They're like, this is our water. And they argued over it with Isaac's herdsmen. And so Isaac named the well Esek, which means argument. Isaac's men then dug another well, but there was another dispute over it. So Isaac named it Sitnah, which means hostility. Abandoning that one, Isaac moved on and dug another well. This time, there was no dispute over it, so he named the place Rehoboth, which means open space. For he said, at last, the Lord has created enough space for us to prosper in this land. From there, Isaac moved to Beersheba, where the Lord appeared to him on the night of his arrival. He was like, I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not be afraid, for I am with you, and I will bless you. I will multiply your descendants, and they will become a great nation. I will do this because of my promise to Abraham, my servant. So again, God is reconfirming that covenant with Isaac. He did it again. And this is the same pattern that God did. He did it twice with Abraham too. And now he's doing it twice with his son Isaac. So then Isaac built an altar there and worshiped the Lord. And he set up his camp at that place. And his servants dug another well. Clearly, Isaac's servants were very proficient at digging wells. Now, one day, King Abimelech came from Gerar with his advisor Ahuzaph and guess who? Fico. Remember, we seen this dude a while back. How come these guys aren't like ancient, old? And if they are, how are they still rolling? Abraham is long gone at this point. But we still got Abimelech rolling and Fico. We seen them long time ago, bro. That's wild that they were around when Lot and all that stuff was going on. Anyways, they're like, why? Isaac was like, why have you come here? You obviously hate me since you kicked me off your land. And they're like, we can plainly see that the Lord is with you. So we want to enter into a sworn treaty with you. Let's make a covenant. Swear that you will not harm us just as we have never troubled you. We have always treated you well, and we sent you away from us in peace. And now look at the Lord. The Lord has blessed you. So Isaac prepared a covenant feast. He was like, bet, let's do it. Let's eat. Get the food. So he prepared a covenant feast to celebrate the treaty, and they ate and they drank together. I wonder how those parties went down. Bruh is stupid rich, and he's partying with a king who is also very wealthy. So I wonder how that party went down. All the servants probably had a great time. That was probably an excellent time. But anyways, early the next morning, they each took a solemn oath not to interfere with each other. Then Isaac sent them home again, and they left in peace. So Isaac was like, you go and get on out of here, y'all. Get on out. That very day, Isaac's servants came and told him about a new well that they had dug. They're like, we found water. And so Isaac named that well Sheba, which means oath. And to this day, that town grew up there. The town that grew up there is called Beersheba, which means well of the oath. Now, that's the end of that little, not the end of the chapter, but that's the end of that part of the story. Right now, we're about to switch gears for this last paragraph of the chapter. But just on the last paragraph, we're going to go back to what we were talking about in the last chapter. We were talking about Jacob and Esau. And if you can remember, Esau and Jacob, they were grown-ups, right? They were grown-ups enough to where they were cooking and hunting and all this extra stuff. So at the age of 40, Esau married 2 Hittite wives. Esau had 2 Hittite wives, Judith, the daughter of Beeri, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon. Elon's in the Bible? Didn't know that. But not that Elon, obviously, but just the name. But Esau's wife made life miserable. His wives made life miserable for Isaac and Rebekah. So yes, like I said before, Esau and Jacob are still living in the camp with their parents, right? They haven't broken away and gone anywhere. Obviously, they're rich as crap, so they probably wouldn't have to. But Esau's wives made life miserable for Isaac and Rebekah, meaning that they were probably either just ratchet, you know what I'm saying? Like, or really naggy, or Karens. Oh God. Oh, the food is too cold. Oh, can I get a blanket? Oh, the blanket's too rough. Oh, the camel hair. Like, bro, maybe that's what it was. But it doesn't go into detail about why they made life miserable in this chapter. But that's where the chapter ends. It just ends on that note. It's like, hey, yo, Esau married 2 women. Both them mugs got on Rebekah and Isaac's nerve. And remember, Isaac liked Esau because Esau's the hunter with the food. But that's where the chapter ends. So I hope you learned something in that chapter. That was actually a really fun chapter. Chapter 27 picks up on the story of this family as we continue on and see what happens. Because now we have Isaac as the main character, the main focus. And he has 2 children that are already adults. So we can have plenty of room for more characters. Esau just got married with 2 women, so we already know he's probably going to produce some kids. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen in chapter 27. Thanks for joining me in chapter 26. Again, hope you learned something. Do something nice for somebody. Do something nice for yourself. Love yourself and others. And remember, you got that God power. On your heart, tugging on your... Get them.